So, what is Conversations with Coryelle all about? It's a weekly series on a wide variety of topics, from the metaphysical to the philosophical, from the erotic to the exotic, from the mystical to the spiritual. It's all about showing you how to enhance your life. And I'll also be showing you ways on how you can enhance your animals' lives too. I'll be joined by host Kevin McDonald. I'm happy to have you here. Now let's have a conversation.
And welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is Kevin McDonald. Over there, of course, is Coryelle Kramer, and we're having a bit of a celebration today. In addition to what we were going to, I just love. Yes, I just love to blindside her because, but she always ends up like a cat on her feet. So it works out really well. But before we get into our topic that we were going to talk about today, which is a real important topical conversation that we need to have because everybody's having this conversation.
Everybody.
But I wanted to just double down and just tell everybody that I met her a little over a year ago now, and when she came back from this training that just changed everything in July, she is now doing some stuff that is just nothing short of amazing, and she's having a lot of people whose animals who they dearly love. I saw a video just the other day of a black cat that this was like last chance row, and this was like, okay, can you help us, because this cat, the cat's not doing well. It wasn't able to balance itself well. It was staggering around like it had too many martinis and was just not doing well. And it was one of those god awful decisions, which is, do we help? Can we find a way to help her or him? Forget if it's him or her.
Him.
And
Kirby.
Kirby. Okay. Can we help Kirby, or do we have to put Kirby down? And then you showed me a video, which for next week, I'll upload it so people can look at it. The cat had a miraculous transformation and went from barely being able to walk to running up and down the stairs and playing in a bag and doing all the things that a healthy cat does. And it's all because of the shadow work that you're doing. And the work that you have delved into it far more deeply and far more impactful than anybody I've ever heard or seen. So it's been pretty amazing, the transformation. You must be really proud of yourself.
I'm proud of the work. I'm honored that I was able to get this information and turn it into this incredible healing work that I'm now doing. So it's healing the body, it's healing the chakras, it's healing the auric field, which is the field around the body, which, when it's not cleared or it's filled with shadows, it's causing a lot of, physical, emotional, mental ailments. And, it's just, I don't want to say I'm just the messenger, because I always tell people, own your shit. Okay. But I can't do anything if the animal isn't willing. If they're not willing to change, if they're not willing to grow, if they're not willing to get back into their stream of well-being, I can't do anything. So I keep having these animals that come into my work that are just like, I just want to feel better. And because of that, they go from, not being able to walk, or walking with a teetered, walk and having neurological problems, to playing in a paper bag with this person and running up and down the stairs with his toys. And it's just incredible to me. It's absolutely blowing my mind, and I love it. And this is what I tell people. I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to react to, I know that they're going to react positively, but I just tell people, let's just see what happens. I've seen some incredible stuff that people are amazed at, stuff that people would never have thought me, myself included, have ever seen before in my life. So I just let it go. I just do the healing work and just let go of the results, knowing that, the animal is going to be okay. And no matter what. And it's just been, like I said, it's been incredible. It's been a wild ride. really, really, really wild. Really.
Well, when you're doing this work, do you feel like the work is different than it used to be?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I used to just do the scanning of the body and sending the body healing. So occasionally I would do the chakras, occasionally, but the auric field, no. I've never been called to do that kind of work. And I understand why now it's all divine timing, because I couldn't do that in a single session. I couldn't cram this healing. The healing I'm doing now is taking anywhere between, 90 minutes to 2 hours to do one healing on one animal, depending on what's going on. So, I can't do that in a 30-minute session. It would be a total and complete. It wouldn't be fair to the animal because I'm pushing this at them. This is unfolding over, we have ourselves time now. I don't time the sessions anymore. So it's perfect. It unfolds perfectly. I can't just sit there for 30 minutes and just send and hope for the best. It's very intensive. That's why I call it a healing intensive session, because it is extremely intense.
Now, I know that you communicate with the animal beforehand. Do you communicate or what response do you get from them after the healing has taken place?
Well, I usually get their insights on how they're feeling afterwards. And a lot of the times it can vary, but a lot of all the time they're feeling better. The mind is quieter. They're feeling more grounded. They're feeling more centered. They're feeling more energy. They're feeling like sometimes they call it like a pop, like all of a sudden it's like a bubble, something inside them popped and released. So it really depends on what's going on, but the results, all of them have been incredible, which is why I take copious notes, because I need to keep this information. There's several books in this. So I need to keep this information, as much information as I possibly can, which I'm sure drives my assistant Karen crazy, because it's a lot of information. I'm getting her transcribing stuff constantly. So, but rather busy than bored.
Yeah. Well, and because you are helping them, it's got to just in your heart, it's just got to make you feel wonderful.
Every single day I wake up and I'm happy. I was happy before, but every single day I'm like, what the hell is going to happen today? I have no idea. And it's so exciting. I have and what text am I going to get? Because I get all my clients to keep me posted on what's going on. I need all this information. I keep all the text streams. I keep everything. And just, when I hear that ding from my text, I go running. I'm like Pavlov's dog. I start salivating. I'm like, oh, what's happening now? So it's really exciting, and it's thrilling, and it's enthralling, and it's just so exciting. Now it's like this mystery. What's going to happen? Every day you get a little box and you don't know what's in the little box. But a lot of times it's good stuff in the little box. So
it's a present.
It's a present. Every single thing I get is a present. Even if there's stuff that somebody's telling me that may not work, or they're not seeing any changes, I usually just tell them, just give it a second. It's kind of like, sometimes it takes a little while to build the momentum. So bear with it. Just let it keep happening, and let's see this unfold, and how it's going to unfold. So
So I'm really proud of you,
thank you.
and we started talking about this just before the show, and I just thought it needed to be talked about, because something truly unique is happening,
Mhm.
and these people are seeing it, and they are telling their friends and stuff, and people are continuing to call you because you can help them. Especially, I'm intrigued with the shadow side, which we've talked about before,
Yeah.
and it's a new piece of work, but it is something that I and when you say it's like they pop, they can feel a pop. It's almost like their energy, which was stuck, is now free and it's moving again.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So when I do the shadow work, which is when I talk to the shadows, I know that sounds crazy, but it works. So whatever. But I talk to them like they're entities because energy is energy. And energy wants to be, it wants to go towards the positive. Okay. It wants to go towards the positive. So if I can acknowledge this energy, this energy entity in this shadow level, which is the auric field, I've come to understand, if I can give it a voice, if I can get the messages that they have, that they came in with for this being, and they got stuck somehow, and the messages got lost in translation. So if I can translate those messages, they're feeling, that entity is feeling seen, heard, and expressed and acknowledged. And because of that, they get they get their goal taken care of, their purpose, and then they can go back to pure positive energy. But
That's just really cool. That's
yeah,
just
it's
really cool.
cool. It's trippy. It's trippy, man. It's trippy. Really, I'm seeing stuff now that whatever. But I thought it was trippy before, but now it's like on like super acid. It's really trippy. So,
Well, that's and the animals are loving it, and their people are loving it because they no longer are talking about having to make that horrible decision of putting somebody down. Now they can just work with you and see how far they can get, which is back to normal, or even better than they were ever.
before, yeah, yeah.
So that's
Mhm.
good. All right, so I just wanted to touch bases with that because I think that's important for people to know that your work is real and it's moving
Real.
forward, and it's real, man, and it's growing, and that's really exciting. But
Thank you.
we wanted to talk about, because I'm in the middle of my vaccine regimen.
Mhm,
I've had one. It
mhm.
didn't feel very good after I had the one,
Yeah.
and I'm scheduled for another one.
Mhm.
And I'm vacillating back and forth between, do I have another one? Maybe the results will be better. Maybe I won't feel so crappy, and for lack of a better term, and they're telling me that I need this vaccine in order for me to make sure that I don't get the virus and so
Right.
forth and so on. What do you where are you in this whole vaccine? Because there are some vaccines that are better than others. They're not all created equal.
No. Look, this is what I want to say. This show, what this show is. This show is not political. It's not anti anything. It's not, moral or anything else like that there. Okay? This show is really just giving information on how you know, okay, what's right for you, what's right for your animal. That's it. Okay. I don't want to go into statistics, how many people have died, how many people have gotten the thing, how many people have had side effects. I don't care. Okay. One thing I do want to say though is I had a client tell me that she knows somebody who is a scientist, and she has scientifically proven that if you take an over-the-counter Claritin after you have that second shot, it nullifies the side effects. Now, this is what I want to talk about. It's really what you believe you achieve. Okay, that's super important. So if you're vacillating back and forth and not sure, That's what you're going to get. You're going to get vacillating back and forth with the results. So it's really important that you line up with whatever you do. It's got to be aligned action. So usually, tips like that with the Claritin, I'm not really feeling it. Okay. It's like, that's fine, but I have my healing. I'm good. For some reason, my mind latched onto that. So what I did was I went out and I got Claritin over the counter. I have it in the car. That feels good. Trying to fight against that belief of the Claritin that clicked in. Could I do it? Yes. But what it is that if it's too much, I got momentum going in the other direction. I'm lining up with that, so I might as well go with that as opposed to fighting upstream. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Aligned action is where the magic happens. Okay, so I'm going to give some results. Okay, aligned action of all the parties involved. So what I mean by that is that if you're getting the vaccine and you're doing it with your kids, you're doing it with your husband, you're doing it with your partner or yourself or whatever, just make sure everybody's lined up and feeling good about this. Get out your fears, talk about your fears in a little group meeting all together so everybody can nullify that and maybe look up some stuff and maybe get some information. It's like, whatever you need to do to soothe yourself. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go and get the vaccine and have this total complete momentum against it. Why would you do that? The reason that's going to mess you up, you're going to every little sniffle or every little sneeze, you go, oh my God, is that the vaccine? Oh my God, if you lined up with it, the results are going to be as you want them to be. It's magic. Aligned action is magic because that's just, if I line up with getting the vaccine, I know that I'm going to, send healing to myself before, during, and after, because you have to sit down, you have to sit in your car for 15 minutes. So, use that time. Use all this time to make sure that you're lined up and you're feeling good with whatever you do, vaccination, surgery, dentist appointment, going to the supermarket. Make sure you want to go to the supermarket and you feel like, something, I'm going to go in, get what I want, get out. You don't want to say, oh, here we go. I go shopping. I deal with all these stupid people and I got to deal with the mask. I got to wear the mask. And now some people aren't wearing masks. So, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't like that word, but we'll go with it for want of a better way of saying it. Align action with whatever you do, with all the parties involved. I had a situation where I didn't lose, I know where she is, but I had this situation, and if somebody can learn from my pain, then I want you to learn from my pain. So what I want to talk about is my heart cat, and her name was PC. And the PC stands for perfect cat because this cat was perfect. She was amazing. She was a wonderful spirit. She was a beautiful being. She was extraordinary. This cat was extraordinary. And she was my heart cat. In 2004, I was married at the time, and my husband was German, and we decided that we were going to go back to his family because his family was going through a very tough personal problem and issue. So he wanted to go and support them. So I said, yes, but I'm not leaving my cats. So in order to travel and bring them to Germany, I needed to get them vaccinated. Now, I have never vaccinated my animals. it doesn't feel like I'm lined up with it. I'm more lined up with believing in their stream of well-being and sending them healing when they need it. Also attuning them. Sam was an amazing healer. My cat Sam, who transitioned recently. That feels better to me. So I never got them vaccinated. So I wasn't lined up. Okay. I knew that it was something that I had to do, but I wasn't lined up with it. I didn't know about aligned action. So it was a shit show. I brought her to the vet. This vet tech, probably giving like the second vaccination she's ever given. And I saw what was happening, but she moved so fast, I couldn't stop her. And what she did was, I might get emotional. What she did was, she vaccinated in the same spot twice. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to vaccinate on the opposite, always on the opposite. And what she did was she couldn't do it, and she did it once, and I think she might have hit the bone, and then she did it again really, really quick, and then she did the other one. And I was like, wait, don't do that. And I was just like, oh my God. Now, I was a vet tech, so I know what you're supposed to do. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm flipping out. I'm sending her massive healing. So I wasn't lined up with it, and it turned out to be a shit show. I got the vet tech that was, new to the job, when I should have gotten the veteran tech if I had lined up with it. Okay. She did it wrong. She hit the bone, but it was just awful. So cut to moving to Germany, and we get off the plane, we get to customs, or we get to the customs.
Yeah.
So I have the paperwork already. I have my paperwork already. And they didn't look at it. I asked them, I said, do you want to see the paper? I have papers that I got my animals vaccinated. No, they don't need it. Wave me on. So essentially, I got my cat vaccinated for nothing. Nothing. And cut to 3 years later, and I have to put down this beautiful, amazing being and help her transition, because she had a tumor on her leg in the same exact spot she got vaccinated in. Guilt was incredible. The guilt was so bad for me, massively. And she gave me this really beautiful message at the end. She said, no regrets. And I have that on my website. It's one of my favorite messages I ever got from PC. And she's like, no regrets. No regrets. You did what you wanted, what you had to do. You did what you thought was right. And I still think about that. Every single time I see a picture of her, I think about her, I think about that. And I'm pissed. I'm pissed because, not that there's anything wrong with the vaccination. But I wasn't lined up with it. And because of that, I truly believe to this day that vaccination is what killed her. So aligned action. If I can help one person and keep one person's heart animal from transitioning from this, and if sharing my story helps with that, then me and PC, we've done our job. But aligned action, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it, or wait until it does feel right so you're lined up with it, because she was lined up with it, but I wasn't. So that's one big, huge thing I wanted to share.
First of all, I'm really sorry that happened. It's clear that cat was your heart cat, and And that's the problem that we have when you introduce other people and other vaccines and other things that you don't know are going to be the right thing or the wrong thing. You're right. You've got to be in alignment with it. And it's really hard for, speaking of a human, it's really hard to be in alignment with something when there's so many diverse opinions about, is it good, is it bad, is it, I've heard this, I hear that. I haven't heard anybody say, oh, it's wonderful and I feel terrific. I'm hearing that people are still getting the virus from it, even though they've been vaccinated.
See, that's interesting, because I'm hearing from people who are just like having no side effects. They're like, yeah, I didn't feel nothing. That felt great.
Really? Well,
It's what's in your vibration. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why it's so important. When you're having a good day, you're dancing, you're meeting people, you're getting things done. You're rifling through the Whole Foods without any problem. Boop, 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 boop. You're finding the stuff you want. You're out and you're back home and you're feeling good. And when you're not, you meet every asshat on the planet. Everybody complaining. Everybody talking about the vaccine. Oh, I got sick. Oh my God, I got a goiter. It's like, dude, I don't I don't want to. I don't want it. I don't want to know. So it's interesting. What you vibrate is what you get. You get what you vibrate. So if you're getting, oh, I'm not sure, then cancel and reschedule your appointment, or do whatever you can to soothe yourself, whatever that may be. Having crystals in the car, so you can have your crystals with you. Whatever, I don't care what it is. Your St. Andrews, like your metal or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Soothe yourself. Soothe.
I have a question for you. What did you get, the Moderna or the Pfizer?
Okay, so I was going to talk about this, but thanks for breaking my
well,
thing. So okay, let me explain. So probably about a month and a half ago, if you would have asked me, and I said so, I think I said so on the one show, I can't remember. If you would have asked me, are you going to get the vaccination? I would have said no, because I don't feel like I'm lined up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I got too many questions. I got momentum in that direction. So I can't go in this direction. I can't, and it's too hard. So I got momentum. So I just said, if I'm supposed to do it, I gave it over to Divine. I said, if I'm supposed to do it, I will do it. Okay? I will trust in Divine. 2 days later, I get the notification that if I wanted to get the vaccination, I could do it. Okay, that's Divine. And then it started feeling like I was going in this direction towards the vaccination. So I said, okay, let's do it. So I've gotten one shot. It is the Moderna. So it's the Moderna. So I made sure that I made myself soothe myself. I had crystals in the car that I was holding on to when they gave me the thing. I was sending light to it. I was asking my guides to send me light. Okay, I was jammed up with stuff. Okay, I'm sitting there for 15 minutes. I'm sending light. I'm asking my guys to send me light, and Archangel Uriel to transmutate any negativity from this virus. I was working overtime, and because of that, I had nothing. I didn't feel nothing. I did get a little sleepy, so I fell asleep with my cats and I took a 15-minute nap. But then I woke up and I was fine. And I'm going to do the same thing when I go next month in May and get my shot. But I'm taking precautions. I got the Claritin because it feels good. It feels good. I've taken off that 3 days afterwards, just in case. Not that I'm setting myself up, but I don't want to put pressure on myself.
Exactly. Let me tell you my story. And you tell me how you would have dealt with this one.
Okay.
Okay. I'm now this.
Lay it on me.
I'm gonna lay it on you, baby. I went to Showwear Center, which is a large entertainment hall down in Kent, and they had it all set up to take the
Yep.
thing, and you go through, and everything was fine, and you fill out the paperwork and do all that stuff, and then I go and sit down where I'm going to get the shot, and a gal is standing there, and she had a bucket or a kind of like a pencil holder kind of thing.
Oh,
Where
okay.
you had where she had the syringes and stuff.
Yeah.
She ran out of. She didn't have any more syringes there,
Okay.
so she goes to another station and gets a syringe, which was the last one in that particular bucket or that holder.
Uh-huh.
And then she brings it back. She administers the shot
To you.
to me at
Okay.
that point, and it feels really hot. There's the pinprick, but then it also felt like it was hot, not even room temperature. I could get the feeling that it was hotter than 98.6.
So what? Sitting in the sun or something?
I don't know because she hadn't kept an eye on it because it was not in her station,
right?
So it was in somebody else's station, and so all she did is go, because she didn't have any more. She went to the other station and picked it out, and then boom, boom, administered it. And I even commented to her and said, "That's hot." And it was like, "Is that supposed to be?" And she was like, yeah, I'm doing all the ton of these. I don't give a fuck. So just, kind of thing. And so I went and I felt okay immediately after.
Yeah.
And they sit you down for 15 minutes and stuff.
Right.
But later on that day and that night, I started to feel crappy. It was bad the next day, and was bad the day after that, and the day after that. So I didn't know if it was normal. So I've asked everybody that's had the shot, either Moderna or I had Pfizer. And if you're listening and you had a shot and and when they administered it, it felt hot to you,
right.
Leave it in the comments, because I'm kind of curious if that was normal, or if it was if it was contaminated, if there was a problem with it in some manner or form. So
what I would have, I mean, in a situation like that, okay, I want to ask you, how were you feeling before you had the shot?
I was fine. I figured I've always taken vaccines well. I don't ever have, I'm not allergic to anything. When they ask you when you're going to have surgery, are you allergic to any medication? I'm not allergic to anything. I don't have reactions to stuff.
I think with something like that, it's like, I mean, it sounds like you were lined up. Okay. So in something like that, I would have, said, I want to see an administrator. It's like, I understand you're obviously not caring, but I need to talk to somebody to soothe myself. So, and being a healer, and you don't have to, be attuned to anything. We talked about this in Rigid Reiki Rules, which is basically just send yourself, or ask your guys to send you energy. Just see light coming down from on high, and just whatever color represents healing to you, just send that to yourself. And just whatever color feels like it's soothing and healing for you, whether that's green or purple with pink polka dots or whatever, I don't care. Just send that, envision yourself in that, and it nullifying, setting the intention that it nullifies anything negative that's going on.
Right. Well, because this particular thing is so out of the norm. Every time anybody's ever stuck a needle in my arm, it was in a doctor's office. and it was a regular course of action
Right.
thing. It wasn't brand new, so everybody's a little apprehensive. But when I asked people and that really did startle me, because it's like either the needle was hot or the liquid was hot. There was something that wasn't, but I didn't know. I've never
You
had one
don't
of
know.
these.
You don't know. That's why it's like you've got to soothe yourself however you're going to do that. Whatever that is, you've got to take your power back. Because when you feel powerless, you're just like a cork on the ocean of shit. You want to make sure that you have a rudder, and you're in a yacht, and it's got a beautiful motor, and you're motoring on the ocean of possibilities. So, whatever you can do to soothe yourself, take your power back. Take your power back with that. So, it's like, I think what I like to say is that like to give a little idea, okay, of what I've gone through. I don't talk about this a lot. In fact, this is really probably going to be the first time I've ever shared this in public. Before I moved to Germany in 2004, I was doing work, volunteer work for pet finders. I was going in, taking photographs of animals. I was going in to the CACC, which is the kill shelter in New York City. So hard, yeah, hard, but good work, yeah, good work. So I was doing this for a while, so I had my stuff down. Okay, I've had my information down, and I knew how to do stuff. There was a cage. There was a series of cages, and they didn't have anything on them. But I thought that these were new animals, so I was going to go over and take pictures of them to see if that's what they needed, and whatever. So what happens is that I must have banged the cage with my hand, and my hand's there. I didn't get my hand fast enough, and I see in the back this little kitten. Okay, little baby kitten, tabby cat. This cat looks like she's dead. And I'm like, oh, holy shit. Okay. And I'm about to move my hand away. This cat comes out of nowhere like a bullet out of a gun. And she grabs my finger, pulls it into the cage through the bars, and grabs onto it with her teeth down to the bone and dies. Now, I'm got my camera in this hand. And so I have to get my camera on, and I'm in excruciating pain. Okay, excruciating pain. There is nothing on any of these cages. Nothing. No warning, no nothing. Okay. So I open up the cage. I finally managed to get the cage open. I get a pencil in between her jaws. Her jaws are locked. And get the pencil and pen in, and I'm able to undo her jaws. So what I do is I go into the clinic, and there are doctors and vets there and things like that there. And I tell them what happened. And they bring in the little kitten, who's actually still alive, but basically, on like vapors. And I asked them, I said, is this cat sick? Do I have anything to worry about? They said, no, the cat's fine. She's just, she's probably got feline AIDS or something else like that. But you're fine. Just rinse it out. Go home. You're fine. Okay. I forget all about it. Cut to 3 weeks later. I'm out to lunch with a girlfriend. My husband at the time calls me up, and this is so unlike him. He is extremely just talking in monosyllables. And he says to me, I want you to get up right now, get a cab, and go to the nearest hospital. You need to get the rabies vaccination, because you are 1 day away from getting full-blown rabies and dying. I need you to get up and get into a cab immediately. So I did. Basically, we found out later that there was a series of kittens in the Bronx, all had rabies, and that cat was one of the litter. So basically, they had waited 3 weeks Okay. And I was 1 day away from getting full-blown rabies and dying. 1 day away. 1 day, 24 hours. I had that or I was going to be dead. And there was no like, oh yeah, maybe sort of you know you can heal yourself. No, you're going to be dead. Okay. So I went and I got the first shot. What I didn't understand was I was so close to having rabies that I started to get the symptoms that evening. And it was the worst experience, I kid you not, of my life. Sound hurt, light hurt, caused physical pain. Touch, anybody touched me, I would scream. I was in such pain. I was so close to ending my life. I literally went running towards I was living on the 10th floor in an apartment. I was so close to jumping out the window. If it wasn't for my husband who grabbed me and he caused me such pain that I collapsed. I don't know if I'd be alive today. It was the worst experience of my life. However, I am really grateful for that vaccine. So on one hand, vaccines, I don't get my cats vaccinated. That is my personal decision. And it feels good to me. Okay. I don't care what anybody else says. But on the other hand, I had this close to death experience that if I hadn't gotten that vaccine, I would have died. So there's times where the vaccines can be your friend. Thank God for that vaccine. I thank God every single day. And when I think about it, every time I think about it. So it's just, did I go through an awful experience with it? Yes, of course. And did I understand? Did I come out of that with the diamond of understanding what that poor little kitty felt like and what cats and animals feel like when they have rabies? Yes. And it's awful. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Okay. It was that awful.
I can't believe that they let you out of that clinic after having being bitten to the bone and them not saying, gee, when was the last time you had a rabies shot?
Yeah. And that's why they paid for all the rabies vaccinations, because they knew that I was going to sue them. If not, there was no warning. There was nothing. There was no cordon off. There was nothing. So basically, and their kids in there all the time looking for their favorite animal and stuff like that there. But so, are vaccines bad? Not all of them. I don't even think they're all bad. It's what feels right to you. That is what it's all about. It's got to feel right to you. Well, getting that rabies vaccination, I'll tell you, felt damn good. It was awful, but it felt damn good. And I was relieved.
Well, let's see what Susan has to say. She had the Moderna. Arm was sore for 36 hours. No pain during the injection. Was extra tired. A little under the weather for most of a week. But my daily normal is exhausted anyway. So I feel no big resonance with the disease in general.
Right.
But felt it was right to be vaccinated.
And she brings up a perfect point. I don't vibrate COVID. Okay. I'm not in that stance of vibrating COVID. I went through working through the pandemic of the shutdown at Home Depot. Okay. Where I was having people that were, 6 foot world was a joke to them. Okay. And the people that were working there, no gloves, no masks. Okay. They gave all the masks and gloves to the hospitals. I'm like, the hospitals got hospital supply places. I need my gloves. I had to buy my own gloves. I had to buy my own mask. And when I sanitized myself, I got made fun of. Oh man, I sanitized that the other day. It's like, I don't care. I'm doing what makes me feel right. So I went through Home Depot 4 or 5 months, however long I was there, working at Home Depot with people who were insane. Not just the people that worked there, the customers. We were having people that were just losing their minds. They were scared and they were pulling guns in the parking lot, and the cops were being called, and people were pushing each other and shoving. It was insane. but I got through it. I don't vibrate COVID. However, the vaccination, because I gave it up to divine, You show me, you tell me what you want me to do. You tell me what you want me to do. I don't know. And 2 days later, I got notified that I could have the vaccine if I wanted to. Okay, fine. I'm lined up with it. Let's go. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really about the mind. What's in your mind?
Well, as you've discovered in your recent work, everything is about in the mind. It's all about the energy that you are emitting and how you are feeling about a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a bad premonition about something and it came to pass exactly like you had a bad premonition about? That's like, it's almost like you're at least in my world, it's almost like I'm preparing for something, or it'd be like I have a bad premonition about something and I don't do it, and then I find out that what I thought was going to happen happened.
If I have a bad premonition about something, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. If I got a premonition that, getting the second shot was not right for me, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I've lasted this long. Won't be lasting a long time. So I think it's the premonitions are there for a reason. They're your gut, your intuition, and I think when we listen to our intuition, no matter what, it's always the right thing. We get into trouble when we start listening to our minds more than we listen to our intuition.
Or listen to other people or news programs.
Well, don't even get me started on the news. No news is good news. That's my motto.
Well, since I've been started, I used to be a CNN junkie. I would watch the news all the time, and I would flip back and forth between the three major ones and all of that. And since I've met you, I'm not doing that nearly as much as I used to.
Good for you. Bravo.
Susan says she was a biology major for her first 2 years in college. So I believe in science, and when you're attuned to your body, it speaks volumes.
Absolutely. Science, people think that science is this thing that's not even close to the metaphysical, but it is. I mean, think about it. The vaccines back in 1600 were thought of, probably, people would think we were witches. It's like, I don't think there's that big of a leap. I think there's a balance. You can find that way in to science. The molecule, the atom, with the swirling. I'm going to probably mess this up because it's been a while since biology, but the swirling nuclei that go around. How does that happen? What is that? That's mad. What is that? With the swirling going back and forth, and there's nothing in between. You telling me that's not amazing to you? That's not like, wow, you can explain it scientifically, but still the swirling nuclei going all over the place is crazy. And there's nothing in between those suckers. You're like, what is that energy? What is that?
That's energy.
It is energy. It's sparks of energy that's propelling it. I'm probably going to get messed up, but if I messed up the science, I'm sorry. But it's just, there's a lot of stuff in science that's metaphysical, that's just like awe-inspiring. How the body just heals itself, Just what? That's crazy, but it's science,
I was I was talking with Eric Hall on our last Wednesday show, and there's a guy who is doing scientific experiments with, and in one case it was an apple. He took an apple and he cut it into the shape of a ear, added DNA to it, and the apple started to grow into an ear. because he was adding human DNA.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. Like they think that they've found a way to get people whose spinal cords have been damaged
Yeah.
by using asparagus to infuse DNA into that so it is really is an incredible, if you're open to it and listen to it,
Mhm.
and then there are some incredible things that are happening, and it's
Absolutely.
all science, but it's not all science because it's all about the energy of the DNA, and that everything's vibrating and everything's alive.
Right. But think about it. I mean, even go back to, I don't know, the 70s or the 80s. People was talking about stuff like this. People would put you in the funny room, growing an ear from an apple. What? But that's amazing. It's magic. It's science. It's the metaphysical. It's yes, it could be scientifically explained, but there is some magic up in there somewhere. That's my opinion. I would rather live with magic in this world than not, but that's me. So,
And Shelley has a question for me. She
oh,
wants to know. She's interested to hear what my response is right now to the question, will you get the second shot? And if it's no, is your mind telling you why not? I am really on the fence with that. I'm not sure that's but at the same time, I actually what crossed my mind was that yeah, and you'll think I'm crazy, but anyway, what has been on my mind is that, and in the news today, the 63-year-old man who's a podcaster died of receiving the second dose of the.
okay. I get you, okay, and I get you, all right, but this is where it's really important you start lining up now. Before I am scheduled to have the shot in the beginning of May, the first week of May. So I have already been lining up with this. It's going to be easy. I'm going to get the nicest person. They're going to get, and the most gentlest person. Boop. I'm in, I'm out, I'm done. Again, using that 15 minutes to send yourself healing in a color that represents something to you. I was scared too. I get it. I was scared. And I sent this text to my amazing assistant, Karen. Okay. So, this is what I said. I'm getting the first shot today. I'm a little nervous, but it feels like the right direction to go in. Karen sent this amazing, enthusiastic, beautiful message back. She said, I am wildly enthusiastic about this! Exclamation point. Even if not for you, for all the other people you'll be protecting. This is wonderful. I didn't even think about it like that. And when she said that, I was like, okay, I'm an uplifter. I'm trying to make this world a better place. Okay. So right now, if that feels good to me, I'm lining up with helping other people. Yes, I'm helping myself, but I don't really feel like I vibrate COVID, but I want to help other people feel good. So that's what I'm doing. That's what it is. That was perfect. That's exactly what I needed to hear. She's so smart, this woman. She just blows my mind sometimes. Now, here's what I got today from Abraham. Okay, I get their quotes every day. They're talking about abundance, but let's put well-being in place of abundance. Okay. It says your well-being is a response to your vibration. Of course, your belief is part of your vibration. So if you believe that action is part of what brings you well-being, then you've got to unravel that first. Meaning, if you believe in this is bringing you well-being, then that's okay. You're lined up with it. If you're on the fence and you got the wonka, 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 do whatever you can do to make sure that you're on either side of the fence. Because you don't want wonka, wonka, wonka energy going in. You want, this is right, I'm helping humanity and I'm helping other people feel good. So let's do this. I'm cool. That's, or use whatever words feel right to you. Doesn't have to be my words. Okay. But your abundance, your well-being is a response to your vibration. And your belief is part of that vibration. So that's why whatever you're vibrating, you're believing, you're achieving. And you're welcome, Susan. And I love energy. She said, energy healing is my jazz. Yeah, love jazz.
It is indeed. Well, you see, and here's part of my. I'm thinking to myself, I live alone. I don't come into contact with a bunch of people on a daily basis. It's
So,
not
so
part of.
do I.
So it's kind of like I don't need to do this. But at the same time, I agree with you. If we are ever going to get out of this thing, people
Well,
have to be willing to get vaccinated.
yes, but now they're talking about how the vaccination only lasts 6 to 8 months. Now, this is another thing I'm not lined up with. I am not going to be getting a shot every 6 to 8 months for the rest of my life. So I'm a one and done girl. This is it. I'm telling you. Okay. I don't want to keep on doing this over and over and over and over and over again. It's not going to happen. It's just not
No.
going to happen. So that's what I'm lined up with. Now I might change my mind. I don't know, but right now that's what I'm lined up with. One and done. We're good, you know. So what I wanted to share about today was PC and myself and my experience almost getting on the cusp of having rabies and dying.
We are so thankful that, by the way, how did your husband find out? Did somebody
They
call
called
him?
him and they called him and they said she's got 1 day. She needs to get to the nearest hospital immediately. So that's how they found out. But
That
it took them 3 weeks. 3 weeks of getting back to me.
that would have been a horrible conversation to have.
I'm sure he was flipping out.
Yeah.
You know, especially for him to talk in that monosyllable. I want you to get to the. I'm like, this is not my husband, my ex. This was not him. You know, he was easy breezy, bop, 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 bop. No, this was his attention. The sound of his voice got my attention right quick. So, but I wanted to share this, you know, all of this, and it's painful. You know, I miss my girl every single day. And I have really and truly held on to her message of no regrets. No regrets, Coryelle, because what she said was basically, and you can find it on my website if you search for no regrets. But what she was talking about is that I was so focused on the end of our relationship, I was forgetting about the magic that the entire relationship brought to my life. I was focused on this one event of her transitioning because of what I put her through. And because of that, I was tunnel focused on this. I wasn't like this, seeing all the peripherals, all the magic nuggets. So I've really worked on letting go of that guilt. I've really worked on letting it go and healing that pain. And you know, but it's ultimately your choice. It's got to feel right to you, no matter what. It's got to feel right to you. I don't, again, I'm not against anything, but for me, it feels right not to have my animals vaccinated, but that's me. And then again, it's a crapshoot. Sometimes it's a crapshoot. I have a client now whose dog I'm working with, this little bulldog, this sweet little bulldog who loved her bulldog brother before she had her rabies vaccination. And then the next day after, she started attacking him. I mean, just this poor woman's got to live in a house filled with baby gates because she's got to corral. She can't even see that her bulldog brother anymore. She's got to put blankets over the baby gates, because if she sees this dog, she goes after him, goes right through the baby gates. She gets crazy. Now, is there a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. That the next day she starts attacking him when she was cuddling up to him and sleeping with him before? No, something's not right. So again, sometimes it's a crapshoot. This woman always got her animals vaccinated. She didn't know that her little bulldog was going to have this issue. Nobody could see this coming. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard, but I'm telling you, the aligned action, I'd rather be as aligned as I possibly can and go into the lion's den than not be aligned at all.
Exactly. So what I'll probably end up doing is having the second one, but I'm with you. If this is a every 6 month kind of deal, I'm not on board with that. That'll be pretty awful.
Well, we'll have to see. Hopefully I'm not going to line up with doing that.
So I did have another question for you.
Okay.
You walked in the hospital that you walked into in a foreign country, which was in Germany.
Actually, no, I was living in New York City at the time.
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
Yeah. But then when you walked into the emergency room and said, I have rabies and tomorrow, and I need a rabies shot, what was their response? Were they like,
they moved their ass real quick?
No, did they?
Oh, yeah. They moved their ass really quick. They're like, come with me. We're going to get you your first shot. Come on. Right now. Because you can't play with this. As the side effects, or, whatever it was that I had that evening, showed how close I was to it. So they're like, it's already, if it gets too much into the brain, bye-bye. Brain shuts down, organs start shutting down. So they're like, no, come on. You don't wait. They got me right in.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I'm glad that worked out for you, because we wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
You're glad. And I know that story was hard to tell, and thank you for that, because that will help somebody.
I hope it does. I hope that, and I hope PC's story helps somebody and some animal. I hope it really, really does. Just, I don't want anybody to go through that. That was probably one of the worst things I've ever had to go through in my life.
And that cat was pretty smart. That actually is a slogan that we should all think about and use on a daily basis. Yeah. No regrets.
Amen.
Don't live your life so that when it's time for you to transition, that you're thinking, I wish, if I'd only, I could have. Why didn't I? If you're thinking more along the lines of, listen, baby, I'm ready to go because I've done everything that I can and I've worn myself out, and it's time for me to go because I have no regrets.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great way to end the show, is on PC's no regrets.
And honor her for what she did, and taking care of you. If you want to get in touch with Coryelle, go to CoryelleKramer.com. She actually, I have told her that this would happen, and it's happened. She has a waiting list now of people that want to work with her, but give her a call anyway. She's just, you can get on that list, and when it's your time, she can help your animal. She can help you. She helps me a lot all the time, and I appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Kevin. It's vice versa.
And everybody, I hope you have a wonderful day, and take care of yourselves. And if you're gonna go do it, have the right mindset, and know that you can succeed. So thank you, Coryelle. Anything else you'd like to add before we go?
Just make a t-shirt, no regrets.
That's, yeah. So far, you've got two t-shirts. One is heal your shit, and the other one is no regrets. So I hope everybody has a great day and take care and thank you. And Coryelle Kramer will be here with Conversations with Coryelle next Tuesday at noon. Everybody take care. Hey, and thanks for listening to this episode all the way to the end. Hey, pretty cool. Hey, don't forget to follow us so you can receive regular updates and new posts. And remember, take care of each other because each other's all we got. See you next time on My Independence Report.